Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. So, you're about to see my recorded interview with Erica Moser of the new YouTube channel Ode to Erica and also the channel Erica35mm. I urge you to subscribe to both channels, particularly the new fragrance channel Ode to Erica. There's a link in the description. I think it's going to be fascinating to see what happens. I also just wanted to do a quick intro here. By the way, don't forget to use my code Mr15 for 15% off at myfragrancesamples.com, link in the description. You're going to be watching this recorded video. I'm going to premiere it. So if you're watching the premiere, this is not live, but I'm going to go live afterwards, pretty much straight after, to discuss, have I made a foolish, terrible mistake here, doing this trashy kind of content, this salacious gossip stuff. Some people are not happy. I want to address that. And we're going to talk about that hopefully on the live, and also any reactions to the fascinating interview with Erica. Okay, so just to address, to preempt the inevitable backlash. I've already had some on the trailer video. A lot of people have complained. They've said, this is beneath you. You've reached a new low. Thank you. I'd like to think even lower lows are still to come, but I keep trying to exceed previous achievements. Guys, I know this isn't going to be to everybody's taste. I've been doing a fragrance channel for many, many years. I still love talking about classic fragrances, vintage fragrances, and modern ones too, and that's still going to be here. Give me some credit, guys. I try to do stuff that's a bit different. Not many people with any kind of size YouTube channel in fragrances do a regular live stream. I bring that. Not many people do interviews like this. If you want another normal fragrance review or a top 10 list, there's no shortage of those, and I'll still do those too. But I'm trying to give you something different. It's not really hurting anyone. So guys, let me know what you think about that. If you're upset that this video is horrendous, somebody said it was horrendous or appalling, all kinds of cyberbullying even. This is not an attack on Jeremy Fragrance. If you watch it, nothing has been said that's really harmful. Erica simply describes her time with Jeremy, talks a bit about herself too. There's very little that's actually really attacking him. I forgot to kind of make it clear in the video that the essence of the story is that one day, after being very close with Jeremy, spending a lot of time with him, Erica just got a voice memo one morning which said that Jeremy had taken, this is from Jeremy, saying he'd taken down all their videos that they made together and he didn't want to speak to her again. And that's the last she heard from him. So you kind of need to know that. Okay, enough. Let's get into the interview, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you on the live show afterwards. Hello, guys. Welcome back to the show. So a very special and exciting episode today. I am very excited to introduce you to my guest here. It's Erica35mm, now known as Ode to Erica. Hello, Erica Moser.
Hi. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to talk about the drama. I've been really enjoying your videos. They're so funny. He was so worried in all the live streams. You're saying like, Erica, don't be offended. Erica, I want to have you for an interview, and I'm just laughing. Like, I think it's so funny. All right, Charlie, we gotta move you.
I am so grateful that you feel that way. Of course, as everyone who watches my channel will know, Erica emerged on the radar for me a couple of weeks back when she made a video on her channel about being, quote, ghosted by Jeremy Fragrance. I picked up on this. I'm not averse to a little bit of clickbait.
Yes,
and some of my viewers, not everyone appreciated this. Some of my more serious viewers were offended, but I thought it would be fun. And then we did a live stream, and Erica, to my great surprise and delight, was actually okay with it and was happy even to do an interview. So this is exceedingly exciting. Most people may know the backstory, but I'm going to just very, 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 very briefly summarize it. So apart from being in some videos with Jeremy Fragrance about a year or so ago and getting quite close friends with him too, and then it kind of ended. Before that, you are also very famous, perhaps most famous, for being on the big show Marrying Millions. Marrying Millions, where you were engaged to a 69-year-old man.
He wasn't 69 at the time, but
okay. How old was he at the time?
68.
Okay, and you were in your early 20s.
Yes, I was. I think I was 23 when we started filming. It was 46 years between us. It's wild.
That's a gap. Yeah, that's a gap. Okay,
we'll talk about it.
We're gonna get into it. Okay, so I'm just gonna let's get straight into this, and I'll hit you with some hard hitting questions because the community needs answers on the story of Erica. I'm absolutely loving this whole story. Okay, so first of all, I'll just go for a soft one for you. Tell us a little bit about your background, where you grew up, your family, etc.
Okay, so I was born and raised in a little town outside of Springfield, Illinois. Um, that's the capital, Central Illinois. There's not much going on there. And just randomly, when I was 17, my senior year of high school, my mom just decided to move to Florida. So I have one brother, and he decided to stay in Illinois with my dad, and then I went with my mom. And that's was probably the best decision of my whole life.
Right.
Just opened
Okay.
so many doors for me, and yeah, so that's kind of how I ended up in Florida.
All right. Awesome. And you are in, of course, Miami now, right?
Yeah, Miami Beach.
Fantastic. And well, lucky you, beautiful place. Okay, so
Yes.
now, of course, as we were just saying, you're best known for this, the reality show. You were engaged to the guy who was, let's say, 68. To summarize, it didn't quite work out. So you're not with him anymore. Can you just tell us a little bit about this story?
Yeah, well, we met a few years ago. He just kind of found me on Instagram, I guess. I'm not exactly sure how we ended up following each other online, but he just kind of endlessly pursued me on Instagram. Just, I mean, it was casual. He was just liking my pictures, leaving comments, and I would see like little videos that he would post. And he had a very fun personality. Like, you can't deny, even if you go on his Instagram now, like, he has a very fun and just kind of lighthearted personality. And we just met one day in Miami. I was down in Miami doing modeling open calls with my brother, and we just ran into each other on Lincoln Road. And I just loved his personality. Even my brother was like, wow, I really like him. And a couple months later, we went on a date, and it was just, we were together after that all the time. And he just was like, come live with me, and I was living in Sarasota at the time. So that's kind of why he wanted me to move in. It's just like he wanted me in Miami. And, it's amazing that, I guess so many comments are like, oh, she's just in it for the money, this and that. And it's not possible for me to like someone for their personality too. I mean, I didn't really know exactly what his net worth was at the time. I mean, I knew he lived on this boat, but you have to keep in mind it's an old boat. It's like a 1980s, Hatteras. And at the time, it's like I didn't know if he owned any other sort of real estate. Like, I didn't know really much about him because we had just met. But I really fell for his personality, and his kind of like just very carefree attitude is very attractive to me.
Okay, brilliant. So because I wondered about this, so this was a genuine thing that you met him organically in the real world. You didn't like get put together just to be on this show or something. Because I always suspect maybe it's not even real. You know what I mean? It actually happened before the show was even an idea, right?
Yeah, actually, how the show came to be was I have always loved YouTube. I've been making YouTube videos for like 10 years, and
Hmm.
during the pandemic when it hit, I thought, what's a better opportunity than to really hustle YouTube, because no one's really working, no one knows what's happening, and everyone's consuming content. And I didn't have like a real job at the time. Like, I was doing modeling, and that's on and off, and pretty much no one was working during the pandemic. So we just decided to post videos every single day on YouTube, and we had this kind of enticing story because of the age difference, and also just living in Miami Beach and living on a boat. And the show actually found me through the YouTube channel.
Of course, a lot of people will be cynical about this, and they're going to say,
Yeah.
well, I'm sure you find him a very charming guy, but one wonders if he worked in Walmart or something.
Yeah.
Would this have happened? And I'll just, of course, I have little doubt you've got a lot of hate and nasty comments from people in the world. Did that happen?
Oh yeah, of course. And it's to be expected. I put
Yeah.
myself out there on the internet and on TV, and it's such a taboo relationship to
Mhm.
begin with that is never displayed in any other light other than negatively in the media,
Mm.
on TV. Like, it's never talked about. And that was kind of like my mission, because it's actually so much more common than you think that someone older falls in love with someone younger, vice versa. And they're scared to come out. They're scared to tell their family. They're scared to go out in public and hold hands because it is such a taboo, and they're so scared of being disowned or judgment. And, we played up the age difference, for shock factor, but at the same time, we kind of became this face for other age gap relationships to be more comfortable in real life and to see that they're not alone and to be comfortable going out into the world.
All right, I respect that answer. Yeah, I'm sure people will continue to be cynical. I'm
Of
sure.
course.
And so
And that's
of course, so
fine.
when you got I mean, you seem like a tough cookie. Obviously, you know a
Yes.
little bit of backlash from people that we're going to probably talk about with the Jeremy thing because of this. It ain't going to be new to you. But how did that actually affect you? Like not only from the public, but also perhaps friends and family. How hard was it to deal with that emotionally for you?
The hate from
The
being in
kind of
a
cynicism
age
and oh
gap.
she's a gold digger or yeah, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I'm very luckily, I'm just naturally very comfortable with myself. And it didn't really bother me too much just because I know what my intentions were. And it's just, I don't know, like with family and stuff, like I'm kind of far away from them. They're not really involved in my everyday life. And I'm very good at separating, real life and the internet. And it really doesn't bother me. I made many videos talking about this, like how to be
Yep.
comfortable with yourself. So
All right. You've got to, yeah, you've got to separate those two things to
yes.
stay sane. Even I know that. So good for you. Okay, let's move on to the Jeremy stuff. I'm sure people are, itching to find out a little bit more about the Jeremy thing. So just
Okay.
tell us a bit more. Yeah, I've heard the story a little bit before, but can you tell me and the audience again a little bit more about how you met Jeremy and how you kind of came to be collaborators and friends and maybe even a little bit more than friends? How did this happen?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Jeremy and I met in 2019. Yeah, 2019. How we actually met was my ex Rick he goes to Starbucks every day with his friends, and he went to the Starbucks in South of Fifth in Miami Beach, and Jeremy was there. And actually, from what they told me, was Jeremy was the one that approached Rick and just said that Rick looked like the king of Miami. He was someone that Jeremy needed to know. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just what I was told. And Rick was like, because like I said, we were doing YouTube, we were just starting out and posting videos, and Rick really liked the attention. And he's like, oh, you're an influencer, my girlfriend really wants to do YouTube videos, and he immediately got on FaceTime with him and was like, yeah, this is Erica, like you should do videos. And he ended up coming onto the boat like a few days later, and we filmed one video, and then like I've explained, we filmed a couple things for Fragrance One. But then after that, like he left, and that's when the pandemic hit, and I didn't talk to Jeremy. I didn't see him for until February of 2021. He
Mm-hmm.
came back to Miami, and he was with a girl, and he asked me to film a video, and Joel was there as well when we filmed a video. And then he left again, and then I didn't see him again, and then he came back in April, and that's kind of when, or no, March, and then that's kind of when it all started, when he was like, come over, we'll film videos. And that's like right when he closed on his condo in Miami. That's when we started spending a lot of time together.
Okay, yeah, but just for viewers there, Joel is Joel the Nose, another
Yes,
great
Joel
YouTuber
knows.
who we've seen you in a couple of vids with him. Okay, so yeah, okay, so now you're collaborating. You're doing the videos ain't up anymore,
Yeah,
but there are videos that many people will remember. Okay, so that was happening, and
they're
you're
up
now
on my
becoming
Instagram.
okay, guys.
Yes.
Well, by the way, of course, yeah, we are putting links, of course, to the Oda Erica channel down there. I'll put a little intro that also sends people straight there. Go and subscribe. The channel is up. Great. This is going to be a big story. So follow the O to Erica channel, and I'll also link all the relevant Instagrams and stuff like that. So, okay. I don't want to pry too much, but it's kind of my job to do that a little bit today. So what, where, how, and when, I never got quite a grip on what were you his girlfriend, or things were a little bit of a grey area? Oh, and how,
It was
where were
definitely
things?
very gray, very gray.
Okay.
No, it's like the first video that we did when he came back in March. He messaged me on Instagram, like telling me his address and like where to go, and he actually said on Instagram before I showed up, like, I'll make lunch for you. I would take you to dinner, but I'm not going to take you to dinner because I respect Rick, which was very confusing to me because at this point, Rick and I had been broken up for like 6 months. And from my knowledge, they didn't talk at all. Like during the whole pandemic, I never heard anything about him talking. So, no contact, but he's like, I respect Rick, so I'm not going to take you to dinner. And that's like a very Jeremy thing to say, right? Like,
yeah.
And so he kind of like put it out there right in the beginning that like I don't think this is going to be a romantic thing. And like, okay, like I didn't care. Like it's like I just want to film some videos with you. And but then we just ended up filming some videos, and things kind of turned in that direction romantically. And we just, outside of videos, we're doing a lot of things together, and getting to know each other.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, just going back a tiny bit, I couldn't help but think about this Rick thing, because this was the gentleman who introduced you to Jeremy. I couldn't help but think, if I had a very attractive younger female, a younger girlfriend, the last person on this earth
Yeah.
I'd want to introduce her
he
to
didn't know.
is Jeremy Fragrance. But anyway, there was a significant gap before you guys became romantically involved and with the Rick thing. So fair enough, I think. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, yeah. Okay, what is Jeremy really like? We're all desperate to know. Tell us what he's like in person.
In person, he's basically the same as he is in the videos. Oh. I know. I was really shocked to realize that as well. But I mean, he's not as crazy. I know that, at times on camera, he really puts on a show with the super high energy. But in terms of like the mannerisms and the way he speaks and how, just kind of off the wall he is, he's just like that in real life. It was very interesting. That's something that I really liked about being around him, was just kind of watching him and like dissecting how his brain worked. It was very interesting, because he's a very unique brain thought process, and how he kind of like navigates the world is different than anyone.
I think, I don't think many people would argue with that. You there, you
but he would do. I'm sorry, I have to say, he would do all the sorts of weird things he does in the videos. Like, I was kind of thinking like how to describe this, and I remembered that anytime, all right, so like he'd meet me in the lobby to film a video, and then we'd walk to the elevator together. He'd hit the elevator button, and then he'd start doing push-ups in the elevator, like waiting for the elevator to come. And it was like that with anything. Like anytime there was a gap in time. One time I pulled up to his valet, and he was outside doing push-ups right in front of everyone. But I think with him, the thing about Jeremy is that you never really know what is going on in his brain. It's either like, is there something wrong with this guy, or is it, he's just pushing himself because he's a content creator and he wants to be comfortable enough to do anything at any time in front of anyone. Like, he was super into Tony Robbins and all that kind of stuff with the chanting and just things like that. Anytime that we would film one video, we'd stop and he would leave. He'd leave me alone in his apartment, and he would sprint down the street and back, because he said that's like pumps him up for the video or something. I don't know, but he was just very into that kind of like biohacking stuff.
Wow. Okay. So this is real, this stuff. Yeah. He's not just doing the push-ups to show off on. Wow. Okay. Fascinating. Cheeky question. Is Jeremy a good lover?
Oh my God. Well, okay.
You can reveal as much or little as you like.
Well, honestly, we didn't really have that much. Like, I don't really know. We really only had like one kind of encounter. As I said in my original video, I was so intimidated by him, and I wasn't. And on his side too, like you could tell, it was very forced. It was very like, why are we doing this? And so I really have no idea what he's like.
All right. Forgive me for
I'm
that.
Not qualified to speak on that. No, it's okay.
Okay, so this really was a kind of a really close friendship. But things from what you've just said there, this wasn't exactly ever proper, full on. Oh yeah, we're together.
No, not at all.
Would you have liked it to be, or did you feel that was from his side, or was it a mutual feeling that it shouldn't perhaps be full-on relationship?
I don't know. I think that like looking back on it, it was just something where I was really drawn in by the mystery of him. And we did have a lot in common, like with YouTube and all the content creation, and I do like fragrances a lot, and so we always had a lot to talk about. But I don't know if I necessarily would have really wanted to go down that road because it would be hard, and I really feel for him because you see him posting all the time that he wants a girlfriend, he wants a wife, but it's just I was with him in real life, and I think it would be very hard for anyone to kind of like he would really have to I think would have to take a step back and just because he's very very like anal about things, like things have to be done a certain way, he has to eat this at this certain time, this exact food, and he has to do sprints, and he has like it'd be very hard to like have a family and to live like him, and like he won't have furniture in his place because it makes him soft, like he has to stand 24/7. All he has is a bed. I mean,
really?
And I didn't see that bed, by the way.
Okay.
But that's what he said, because he had like a townhouse that had an upper story, I guess, where his bedroom was, and then downstairs there's no furniture. He has the shelves with the fragrances and like a standing desk situation, but nothing else.
Wow. So he doesn't like furniture and chairs because it makes him soft.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. He's getting more interesting by the minute. Yeah. Fascinating. Okay.
He's a very complex creature.
Yeah,
I told you.
This is he's in an enigma. I always felt that, but you're really kind of underlining it today. Okay, so yeah, on the camera, of course, we see the uber confident, crazy person that most of the time, but sometimes he can be a little bit more candid about stuff. He says stuff and reveals problems and legal stuff that I'm like, whoa, are you going to put that in a video? So there's a kind of contradiction there. It suggested a slightly more vulnerable, sometimes troubled person. Did you get to see a more vulnerable human or likable side to Jeremy? Not that he's unlikable, but a more relatable person.
Yeah, I don't know about necessarily relatable, but I definitely did see a side of him that was a little more like worried about the future and worried about his content and where he's going to go and what is he going to do and what's he going to become. There's just, I don't know, I always kind of saw like just this, and we all have like a child inside of us, right? Like everyone has some sort of remnants of their younger self and how your life experience or whatever, and I definitely saw some of that in him, but that was kind of like the biggest thing that he opened up to me, because it's what we talked about a lot was YouTube, and he was very concerned about his content, and I told him that he should do more personal things and show more of his like other aspects of his life, because he was so worried like I can't just film top 10 most complimented male fragrances 100,000 times. I'm like, well, you should show them other aspects of your life and your daily life, what you eat, your exercise, whatever. Like people are interested in that, and he didn't like ever say like, okay, I'm going to do it, but he actually started doing it. So like I think he definitely was looking for outside assurance and advice.
Yeah, I wondered. Yeah, because you mentioned that you kind of said some stuff. I'll share more, and there was a time when he really started to. So you think it could have been perhaps prompted by you that he started to open up a bit more in the vids.
Sure.
Sometimes he does, as we both said. He seems really psyched up, high on life. But of course, he says he doesn't drink. Is that true? Doesn't drink alcohol?
Yeah, no, that's what he said to me.
Doesn't ever drink. And of course, some people have speculated, is he just naturally high on life, or could he be getting a little bit of stimulation from anything else? Do you have any comment on that?
Well, I don't know about you, but a shot of Versace Eros every once in a while is fun on the weekends. But no, I never saw him do anything. He never talked about drugs. Like I said, it's just kind of how he naturally was.
You know what?
And he definitely never drank.
Wow. Okay. I've always, because people always say, oh, he must be on something, and I've always thought maybe he's not.
He's very smart. He is a marketing genius. He is insanely intelligent. He knows what he's doing, and he never responds to comments. He never engages with it. It keeps people talking. It keeps him relevant. He's very smart.
Okay, fascinating, and you gave us a very straight answer on that rather tough question, so thank you. Erica, can you just give us a bit more information then about what actually happened with the so-called ghosting and how you were kind of dumped?
One thing about Ghostgate that it just came to me like all of a sudden now, I just remembered that I wanted to say this, that there's so many comments that people are like, oh, you weren't ghosted, well, there's two things I want to address. One, you weren't really ghosted. He sent you a message and said that he wasn't going to talk to you. Okay, but we had like planned, I don't know if you remember, he did a pop-up shop, and when he was in Miami, and he wanted me to be there. He's like, it was like 2 days away, and he's like, you know, you come be there. I want you there to help me sell stuff, blah, blah, blah. I was telling people that I was going to be there. Like, we had so many things planned, and then he just like, boom, cut it off and wouldn't tell me why. He sent me the voice memo and was like, yeah, I'm deleting the videos. But after that, he wouldn't, like, there was no why, you know, no explanation, nothing. I was there for him for like how many months, and so, like, someone that he relied on, not just, you know, for advice or whatever, but like to take him places and do things with him. And yeah, people might say he was using me. Maybe that's true. But, you know, and then the other thing is, like, people say, oh, well, you know, welcome to the world of being a guy. This happens to guys every day. Just get over it. Does that make it right? You know, I'm sorry that you have to go through that. And it happens to girls all the time too. Girls get ghosted every day too. It's a girl and a guy thing. It's a coward thing. You know, it's the online dating, you know, atmosphere that we live in these days. And it's not right. You know, it's just, why stand up for someone for doing something that someone did to you that hurt you? I don't get it. But I just wanted to put that out there, that, you know, there was a lot. It wasn't just like, oh, we hung out like once every other week and, oh, I'm never going to talk to you again. Like, we had things planned. We had events planned, and we were very involved in each other's lives. And then I got zero explanation for why. So it was totally out of the blue. I couldn't believe it. I just woke up in the morning and had it. Like, I don't know. I just wanted to say that. So, and I'm sorry if you've been ghosted. That sucks.
So I think in one of your videos, you said that this whole thing was precipitated maybe by a message that he'd had from a jealous person, which, apart from that, because some people have said, well, yeah, but she probably did this or something. You know, had you done anything that could be wrong that might have justified this in your view?
Absolutely nothing. And there's a lot of people that say, oh, I might have been dating someone else, and they message it. No, that wasn't the case. I wasn't seeing anyone else. Like, it couldn't have been, you know, something that I did. I was very careful to be, you know, trustworthy, and because I understand the stress that comes with someone like him trying to date or trying to even just make friends, being such a public figure, having people come into his life just to use him for, you know, money or views or whatever. And, you know, I could put myself in that situation. I've dated people like this before. I've dated other public figures, and I just wanted to make sure that he could trust me. And there was at one point he said that, you know, I don't want to put girls that I'm interested in my videos. And I stopped being in his videos. I said, I don't care. You know, I don't need to be in your videos.
So let's go on to you. You're launching a new fragrance channel. Erica 35ml was the your main YouTube one, which I'll also link. But now we have Ode to Erica, which could be big news. 2 videos are up as we film this. What are your hopes for the channel?
Well, I haven't really thought about it that far. Like, I'm just kind of doing it for fun. And I have always loved fragrances. I used to have a candle company, and I just loved, you know, blending fragrances and creating, you know, amazing smelling candles. And so I always loved fragrances. And then Jeremy really ignited my, you know, interest in, you know, perfumes. And so my like goal with it is I just want to learn about the community. I think it's very fascinating. You know, 2 years ago or whatever it is, you know, I would have never imagined that there was such a passionate community of people that love perfumes. Like, if you're not in it, it's like, you know, if you know, you know. And I'm just very curious about how it all works and everything there is to know. I think it's very fascinating, you know, the connection between fragrance and, you know, emotions and memories. And it's just amazing how important it's been in human history. And it's just very fascinating to me.
I think that's why some people get so kind of into it. Yeah, it tickles a lot of other parts of our brain and our emotions. All right, so yeah, obviously some people have already called you the gold digger because of the marrying millions thing, and now they're going to be saying you're just using Jeremy, you're clout chasing, and you probably don't really know anything about fragrances. You've got no right to make a fragrance channel. How do you respond to that?
Well, I think initially I might have agreed, but I had a lot of time. Obviously, it's been about a year since this whole thing went down, to reflect and to really, you know, look back on everything that happened. And I decided that, you know, I deserve to get something good out of it. Like, it's like make a good out of a bad situation. And the situation was much worse. Like, obviously I said in the video that this is not every detail. And it definitely wasn't. It was very, very hard for me. It was very traumatic, and it might not sound that bad from the video that I made, but there were many other angles to it, like I said. And it was very, very hard time for me. And I just decided that, because I felt like I was so wronged, not just by Jeremy, but the other people involved. And I just figured, I might as well get something out of it. I love fragrances. People have been telling me to make a fragrance channel for a long time. This isn't necessarily something that I am like, all right, I'm just going to start a fragrance channel. Like, I have been told to do this by a ton of people. And I have a lot of followers that are in the fragrance community from Jeremy. So, they want to see fragrance content. And just, I might as well make a good out of a, crappy situation.
I do respect that. I got to just to give you my opinion on that. To be fair, your video and certainly our interview here, it's not a horrendous hit piece on Jeremy. I have respect for Jeremy. I'm not anti-Jeremy. I've spoken to him a few times. I hope he doesn't hate me for doing this.
And I do too, in some ways. I don't hate the guy. I don't think badly of him necessarily. Like, there's no bad feelings. This isn't something that I did out of spite. It's just.
Well, what you've said, I
get asked
video,
about it a lot. I get asked about it all the time. So it's just like, I might as well. And I felt like, I was kind of being like, it really upset a lot of my followers that they saw that I was very upset about something. They saw that all the videos were taken down. They saw that I wasn't around him anymore and filming. And they're like, what the heck is going on? And I didn't say anything about it. And I felt really bad. So it's like, I might as well, tell my story. And it's amazing the amount of girls in my comments that have come forward as well, but we don't need to get into that.
You've had some support and people have had similar things. I tell you what, to be fair, you've hardly thrown him under the bus there. That video isn't going to destroy him in any way. And you've just, just said you had a relationship, you were upset the way he ended it. Okay, it's hardly a terrible hit piece. So I don't think that's bad. And you've waited a heck of a long time. You could have gone in a lot harder. So I do respect it. And you said I might as well, you can use that as a little kickstart for your fragrance channel because you're the girl who used to be involved with Jeremy. I think that's fair enough. I don't think anyone's coming out of this being harmed. So good for you. Go for it.
Thank you. I am.
The other channel, of course, Erica35mm, is more of a lifestyle vlogging type channel. I've watched quite a few of those videos. I genuinely find you to be very real, likable, quite candid. And you've spoken about a few, issues that you have. I think something about maybe an eating disorder and anxiety attacks. Yeah. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Well, the eating disorder I kind of just started opening up about, but it's something that I've been dealing with for like 11, 12 years now. And it's just kind of something that's always been a part of my life that I wasn't really kicked in the ass to really fix and to work on until I started having this panic disorder, which that's probably what it is. It's what all my medical results are leaning towards. But I went to South America for a couple months and I just got really sick and I came back and I started having these panic. Basically, it feels like I'm having a heart attack and it's not caused by anything. There's zero stress. Like, it's funny. This is the time in my life where I'm the absolute least amount of anxious about anything, money, situation, amazing, stable relationship. And, but my body just has panic attacks constantly, like at least once or twice a day, and not caused by anything. Wow. So that's kind of what is the umbrella of a panic disorder, is just you have panic attacks without any sort of known cause. And I don't know. So I've been to a lot of doctors and done testing, and there doesn't seem to be anything medically wrong with me. But once that started, I was like, all right, it's time to get my life together and really, take care of myself.
Okay. And that issue is still there for you at the moment?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we certainly wish you all the very best with sorting that out. And it's amazing because, to look at you, we'd think, oh, well, she's got everything. She's got a perfect life. She looks great. Yeah. She lives in Miami. And it just goes to show you're just like everybody else out there. And I think that's the great thing. And I really hope on the YouTube fragrance thing too, apart from having the great presentation that you've obviously going to bring to the channel, if you open up about this stuff, I think that could be a real charming feature, and I hope you will. Okay, so let's go on to my next question, which is, apart from the German playboy himself, which are your other favorite fragrance YouTube channels?
All right, so I've started doing some digging, and so far, I really, I really like Demi Rawling. I like her just because of her. She's so feminine and so smart. Like I've seen some other female fragrance influencers. There's one. All right, it's Curly Fragrance or Curly Scents. I think it's Curly Fragrance. The one that says like make sure your balls are in a good position.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
the
Curly
crazy
Fragrance.
personality. And so yeah, I kind of prefer the Demi style of
Okay.
videos. And I love Joel the Nose. I think he's incredibly intelligent and very nice to listen to, and a great guy. And of course, Mr. Smelly, 1977. But I told you this already. I already gave you my spiel on Instagram about why I like you so much.
Well, you're too kind.
Very
Thank you
underrated.
so much. Thank you. The check's in the mail. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right. All right. Now, I've said that I think your channel, I really obviously I think there's potential for you to have a hugely successful fragrance YouTube channel. Obviously, you've got some of the great ingredients there. We know the female channels have really exploded, particularly maybe when they market it more towards men because it's a no-brainer. Guys love to hear a young woman talk about men's fragrances that might help them meet a nice young woman. It's a no-brainer, and that's become huge lately. Okay, but however, that's no longer new. Obviously, yeah, Demi Rawling came out. There weren't too many women doing that. Now we have
Yeah.
quite a lot of them that you've just mentioned. So it may be, I don't know, maybe just being attractive and presenting well and giving nice slick videos may not be enough. So what do you think you can bring to the game that gives you a bit of uniqueness? What's your unique selling point to the market or the masses?
Well, that's where it's kind of tough to describe because it's like on my other channel, it's easy. You know, what makes me different? Just my life experiences and being on a reality TV show and going through everything that I've gone through and dated the kind of people that I've dated. And I think that it's just with the fragrances, I have to kind of find my corner. You know, obviously I'm very, very new. I filmed like 2 videos, but I don't think I could ever be a curly fragrance. I don't think that I will never necessarily have this kind of off the wall, you know, super spunky personality. It's just not me. I'm very like laid back. Like this is as excited as I get. And but a lot of people like that. On my other channel, they say that they like that I'm kind of like a calming presence. But I don't know. It's just something that I'm going to have to figure out. I'm going to have to get audience feedback and kind of adjust and go from there.
Well, yeah, you're only 2 videos in, so you'll find that. I'll tell you what, though, if you don't mind a little bit of my opinion, that little video that you made joking, the one where you've done a kind of spoof Jeremy Fragrance thing, where you said, what I thought, it'll be in this video somewhere, what I thought fragrance reviewing would be like versus what it really is, and you do kind of an impersonation of you being Jeremy Fragrance. That shows humor and character. You know, Demi Rawling, I love her, but she wouldn't do something like that. So I think if you go for that funny, the humor, you don't have to be.
It's definitely easier to do
I
on Instagram and TikTok. Of course, like I'll do that all day long, but on YouTube and like incorporating that into fragrance reviews is just something that I'll have to figure out.
Yeah, I think bring a little bit of off the wall kookiness if you have that in you, all that stuff. I think people will love that. And also, to be honest, I got to be totally honest with you. I do find some of the other channels out there fantastic, but I feel like I'm being talked to and presented at. And with your own 35mm Erica channel, I do feel, when I look in your eyes, it feels a little bit more like a real person talking to me. And I think that's like, you can't teach that. So just keep that. Don't change that. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. For what it's worth, my advice. Okay. Now, thank you. Moving on. This is, I was hesitating to put this in, but okay. You spoke in your recent video about some plastic surgery. I know one of them's to do with a breathing issue that you have, which is obviously fine. But you said you were thinking about, you're probably going to have a boob job. Have you ever heard the expression, if it ain't broke, don't fix it? I mean, why do you need help in that department? Explain.
Okay. Well, I don't want implants because they're very unhealthy and my boobs are, fine the way they are, like you said. But no, I've gone through so many cycles of my life with like weight gain, weight loss. I mean, 20 pounds up and down just because of the eating disorder. And I don't know, I just want to hoist them up really high. And I figured, while I'm young and we'll recover good, like, now's a good time to do it. So, I mean, I'm not going to do it until I lose a little bit of weight because I gained some weight since the show. But once I hit that goal, I'm definitely going to do it. I've already found the doctor, everything. So.
All right. Well, Fair enough.
Anything that anyone wants to do, I think that, it's fine. It's your body. Do whatever you want.
Of course. I'm sure just people will look at you and say, why the heck would you change anything? But hey, good for you. Exactly. If it makes you feel better about yourself, you do it. I'm all for that as well. Okay. Next question. After being entangled with Miami's second sexiest fragrance influencer, are you not tempted to try and up your game and hook up with the number one, Mr. Miami Cuddles?
Let's show a video, Mr. Cuddles. I'm waiting for you. Slide into my DMs. Oh, wow. I love the accusations on the live stream that it's Mr. Cuddles. I was laughing so hard.
Did you actually?
I've never met Cuddles. No.
Oh, okay.
I've never met Cuddles. I've heard lots of stories about Cuddles from Joel and Jeremy and Maurice down at Osmo Perfumery.
He did meet. Yeah, he met them. He is funny actually. Sometimes I've had to ban him from my live streams because he talks about his views. He loves Donald Trump and stuff, and he goes into these rants and he gets angry with people. He insults guests, but he's just he's kind of fun. But thank you so much for being so candid with us, Eric. I really appreciate it. We've got one last question, and this one is close to my heart. So you have admitted to having a little bit of a penchant, a bit of a liking for older men. What do you think the chances are this could include a 45-year-old balding, bearded Englishman with his own property? It's all paid for. I've got my own. I've got a Kia Ceed. That's paid for too. What do we think his chances would be?
None.
And that is the end of the interview, guys. Thank you so much to Erica for being such a fantastic and very candid guest. Please do subscribe to her new channel, Ode Erica, and also to mine if you would like to. We'll see you in the next episode. Remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project, and sometimes life may stink, especially if you get ghosted, but at least we can always smell good. Bye-bye.